The weight of expectations is something people carry without realizing how heavy it's become. Expectations from family, from work, from society, from past versions of yourself. See, over time, these expectations stack quietly, shaping decisions, behaviors, and your self-worth. What begins as motivation slowly turns into pressure. Expectations are not inherently harmful. They can guide effort and provide structure. But when they're absorbed without reflection, they begin to dictate identity. People stop asking what feels right and start asking what is required. Life becomes about meeting standards rather than living with intention. Much of this weight comes from roles: being reliable, being strong, being successful, being the one who holds things together. These roles often form early and are reinforced over time. The more consistently someone meets expectations, the more invisible the burden becomes. From the outside, it looks like competence, but on the inside, it can feel like suffocation. There's also the expectation of constant progress, to always be improving, always advancing, always proving momentum. Rest is treated as indulgence. Uncertainty is treated as failure. This creates a quiet fear of slowing down, as if pausing means falling apart. Under this pressure, people keep going long after something inside has asked for a reset. What makes expectations especially heavy is how rarely they're questioned. Many are inherited rather than chosen. Cultural timelines, social comparisons, unspoken family dynamics. People carry them because they've always been there, not because they still make sense. The emotional cost shows up gradually. It's tension, resentment, fatigue, a sense of living someone else's version of success. When expectations outweigh alignment, even achievement can feel hollow. Goals are reached, but satisfaction doesn't follow. Releasing the weight does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means redefining it. Responsibility rooted in self-awareness is sustainable. Responsibility driven by fear is not. The difference lies in intention. This process begins by noticing which expectations energize you and which ones drain you. Which ones align with your value and which ones exist only to maintain appearances. Some expectations can be renegotiated. Others can be released entirely. Not all pressure deserves permanence. Letting go can feel uncomfortable, even disloyal. Many worry that easing expectations means disappointing others or losing identity. But living under constant pressure eventually leads to disconnection. Disconnection from yourself and from those you're trying to satisfy. When expectations are adjusted, something shifts. Breathing becomes easier, decisions become clearer, energy returns in quieter, steadier ways. Life feels less like a performance and more like participation. The goal is not to eliminate expectations, but to carry only those that support growth rather than suppress it. To choose standards that reflect who you are now, not who you were expected to be. In a world that constantly demands more, learning to lighten the load is not weakness, it's wisdom. Most days the real challenge isn't what's in front of you. It isn't the competition, the circumstances, or the timing. It's the quiet negotiation you have with yourself before the day even begins. You wake up with two options. One version of you wants comfort. The other wants progress. That conversation doesn't make noise, but it decides everything. People spend a lot of time preparing for battles that don't matter. They study opponents. They wait for conditions to improve. They rehearse arguments for why now isn't the time. Meanwhile, the most important contest is already underway, and it doesn't involve anyone else. It's you versus you. This battle shows up in ordinary moments, when the alarm goes off, when the plan feels inconvenient, when motivation doesn't arrive on schedule. Discipline isn't loud in those moments. It's subtle. It asks one simple question: will you do what you said you would do? The hardest part is that no one is watching. There's no scoreboard, no immediate consequence. You can delay, rationalize, and quietly move on. And because the cost of not showing up doesn't hit right away, it's easy to pretend it doesn't matter. But it does. Every time you choose comfort over commitment, you reinforce an identity, not because you failed once, but because you practiced avoidance. And every time you show up, even imperfectly, you practice something else: self-respect. This isn't about being hard on yourself, it's about being honest. The version of you that wants more doesn't need inspiration, it needs reliability. Discipline is not intensity, it's follow-through. It's the ability to act without negotiating your standards down. Circumstances will always offer excuses: fatigue, distraction, doubt. These are not obstacles, they're constants. Waiting for them to disappear means waiting forever. Progress happens when you learn to move with them present. The quiet truth is that consistency doesn't feel heroic. It feels repetitive, boring even. But repetition is where identity is built. You don't become someone by deciding once. You become someone by choosing the same direction again and again. There will be days you don't perform at your best. That's expected. The mistake is letting one off day turn into a story about who you are. Discipline isn't broken by imperfection, it's broken by abandonment. You don't need to win every day. You just need to show up more often than you disappear. Over time, something subtle changes. The internal resistance softens. The negotiations get shorter. Not because things become easier, but because trust is being rebuilt. You begin to believe yourself again, not because you feel confident, but because you've become dependable. And that's when the battle shifts. You stop seeing the day as something to survive and start seeing it as something to honor. You recognize that the person you're becoming is shaped less by big moments and more by quiet decisions no one else sees. In the end, the victory isn't over circumstances or competitors. It's over the version of you that once walked away. And the realization is simple. If you can show up for yourself consistently and without drama, everything else becomes manageable. Because the real work was never out there. Suffering is something every one of us knows, even if we don't always talk about it. Sometimes it arrives from the outside, like a loss, a setback, a moment that breaks our routine or our plans. But other times, suffering is something we place on ourselves without even realizing it, through our expectations, through our fears, through the pressure we put on our own shoulders to be perfect, to never fail, and to never struggle. And the hardest part is that the suffering we create inside of ourselves often hurts more than the suffering life puts in front of us. We replay mistakes long after they're over. We judge ourselves for not being enough. We carry guilt, shame, and doubt even when no one asked us to. We hold on to stories that make us smaller, weaker, and more afraid. So often our suffering comes from the belief that we should be further ahead, or stronger, or more confident, or already healed. We think, I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't be struggling. I should have figured this out by now. But suffering isn't a sign that you're failing, it's just a sign that you are human. Because every person, no matter how strong, how successful or confident, has moments when the weight feels too heavy. Moments when the mind turns against itself. Moments when the suffering inside becomes louder than anything on the outside. A lot of the suffering we experience isn't because life is cruel, it's because we're cruel to ourselves. because we demand perfection. We hide our emotions. We pretend we're okay when we're hurting. We compare our lives to others and punish ourselves when we don't match up. We expect growth to be straight, clean, and smooth. And when it isn't, we blame ourselves. But suffering doesn't mean something's wrong with you, because suffering is part of the path. It's a signal, not a sentence. The goal in life is not to avoid suffering, because none of us can. The goal is to understand it, learn from it, to stop adding to it. Because the moment you stop fighting your pain, the moment you stop judging it, the moment you stop believing you shouldn't feel this way, something powerful happens. The suffering begins to shift. You realize that pain is temporary, that emotions rise and fall, that thoughts are not facts, that the past cannot be changed, but it can be released, that you can breathe again, even in the middle of the storm. Overcoming suffering doesn't mean pretending everything's fine. It doesn't mean forcing positivity. It doesn't mean acting strong when you feel anything but strong. Overcoming suffering begins with acceptance. This is what I'm feeling, and it's okay to feel it. From there, suffering begins to lighter. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you stop carrying it alone. You stop blaming yourself. You stop fighting what already is. You stop believing that hurting makes you weak. You start to understand that pain is temporary, but the lessons inside it can last a lifetime. Suffering can teach you patience. It can teach you compassion for yourself and for others. It can teach you how to slow down, to listen, to heal, and it can reveal strength you didn't know you had. And maybe the most important thing suffering can teach you is that you're not alone. No matter what you're carrying, someone else has walked through it. No matter how dark it feels, someone else has found the light on the other side. No matter how heavy the weight seems, you were never meant to hold it by yourself. Life isn't about avoiding pain. It's about learning that pain doesn't control you. It doesn't define you. It doesn't decide your future. Suffering may be a part of your story, but it's never the whole story. And even if you brought some of it onto yourself, even if you held on to something longer than you should have, even if you've been hard on yourself for too long, you can still set it down. You can still rise, and you can still heal. This moment is not the end of anything. It's simply the beginning of understanding your own strength. Suffering is temporary. You're not broken, and you're not alone. We are living in one of the most exciting times in history. A time when the tools we once dreamed of are now available at the tap of a finger. A time when artificial intelligence can help you write, plan, learn, organize, create, even change your life. But here's the catch. AI can assist your growth, but it can't live your life for you. You still have to show up. AI is not here to replace your effort. It's here to amplify it. It's not a substitute for discipline, vision, or character. It's a tool. And like any tool, it's only as powerful as the hand that wields it. Some people are afraid of it. Others are overwhelmed. But the ones who thrive, they're the ones who embrace it, without forgetting who they are and what they bring to the table. You see, AI can help you brainstorm ideas, but it can't birth your passion. It can organize your schedule, but it can't make you get out of bed. It can answer questions, but it won't replace the lessons you learn through struggle, failure, and persistence. Growth still belongs to the doer, not just the dreamer. This is the era of the co-pilot, not the autopilot. AI can help you build a plan, but it's your job to take the first step. It can help you rehearse that speech, but it's your voice that has to rise in front of the room. It can write out your meal plan, your workout, your strategy, but it's your sweat, your hunger, and your belief that brings it all to life. So let's be clear. The winners of tomorrow are the ones who learn how to combine intelligence and initiative, who lean on AI not because they're lazy, but because they want to go further, faster, and smarter. They're the ones who realize that the future is a partnership between human drive and digital power. So if you've been stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure how to move forward, this is your invitation. Use the tools, use the tech, use the knowledge, but don't you dare sit back and wait for something or someone to save you. Growth doesn't come from convenience, it comes from action. Imagine writing a book with AI as your research assistant, launching a business with AI as your strategist, improving your mindset with AI, helping you track your goals, habits, and breakthroughs. See, this isn't science fiction, it's here today. And it's available to you, not just the wealthy or the elite or the tech savvy, but to anyone willing to learn, adapt, and do the work. But listen up, because AI won't make you better, it'll reveal who you already are. If you're lazy, it'll help you cut corners. If you're hungry, it'll help you chase down your dreams with fire and focus. So ask yourself, what are you feeding the system? Because what you put in determines what you get out. AI can help you break limits, but only after you stop making excuses. We used to say, I don't have the resources. Well, that excuse is gone. Or we'd say, I don't know where to start. Not anymore. Or I'd say, I can't afford to hire help. Well, now you have tools that can teach, guide, and grow with you. The real question is, will you use them? The future is here, not to carry you, but to walk beside you. So build, create, train, transform. The days of making excuses is over. The other day, a friend of mine told me a story that really stuck with me. See, he went for a drive. Nothing special, just a trip across town. He punched in his destination on the GPS, and as he started driving, something caught his eye. The final address was a street called Easy Street. Nice, he thought. That's where I've always wanted to be. But here's the thing about Easy Street. It isn't a straight line. As he followed the GPS, he started noticing the street names along the way. The first one, Failure Street. Now, Failure Street wasn't the prettiest. Potholes everywhere, street lights barely working, and the houses were boarded up and abandoned, like dreams that people gave up on. Most drivers who turned down Failure Street did a quick U-turn. They took one look at it and said, nope, that's not for me. But my friend, he kept going. After a few turns, he found himself on Resistance Avenue. This street was a mess. Traffic lights flashing red, cars broken down, people pulled over on the side of the road, some just sitting there not moving. It was the kind of place that made you question if you should even be driving at all. He watched as some people tried to fix the cars, while others just sat in them, staring at the dashboard, stuck. And then there were the ones who got out, slammed the door, walked away. They gave up right there on the spot. But my friend, he kept his hands on the wheel and pressed on. And next came Sacrifice Road. This one was long. No gas stations, no fast food joints, no rest stops, just miles and miles of empty road. And man, did it feel lonely. But this was the stretch where most people turned off, because this was where you had to keep driving even when you were running on empty. At this point, my friend started wondering, did I miss a turn? Is Easy Street even real? Doubt started creeping in, but he kept going. And then finally he saw it, the sign for Easy Street. But here's the part no one talks about. Easy Street sits on top of a hill. You don't just drive onto it, you climb it. And that climb, it's torture on your engine. But my friend, he hit the gas. He pushed through every struggle, every moment of doubt, every street that tried to stop him. And when he finally rolled onto Easy Street, he looked around. It was exactly how he pictured it. Smooth roads, beautiful homes, the kind of place where people smiled because they made it. But you know what he realized? Every single person who lived on Easy Street had the same story. They all came the same way. They all drove through Failure Street, pushed past Resistance Avenue, survived Sacrifice Road, and climbed that last hill. Because there's no shortcut. You don't get to skip the hard streets. You don't get to take a back road. If you want to get to Easy Street, you have to earn it. So next time life feels tough, next time you feel like quitting, remember, you're just on one of those streets. And the only way to lose is to stop driving. Your potential isn't set in stone. What you know, what you're capable of, and who you can become, it's not limited to what you were born with. The greatest separator between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who don't isn't talent. It's mindset. And the mindset that drives success, resilience, and constant improvement is the growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication and effort. It's understanding that failure isn't a dead end. It's feedback. It's seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as obstacles to overcome. It's choosing to learn from mistakes rather than letting them define you. Many people operate with the fixed mindset. It's believing their intelligence, talents, and abilities are set at birth. They avoid challenges, fearing failure will expose their shortcomings. They see effort as pointless if they don't succeed immediately. They view feedback as criticism instead of an opportunity to improve. On the other hand, a person with a growth mindset sees setbacks as just part of the journey. They embrace what's difficult because they understand that struggle leads to progress. They actively seek out feedback, not to validate their worth, but to refine their approach. They don't fear being bad at something new. They see it as a challenge to get better. If you've spent years operating with a fixed mindset, don't worry, change is possible. So here's how to start shifting your perspective. First, reframe failure as a lesson. Every mistake carries a lesson if you're willing to learn from it. The most successful people aren't those who never fail, but those who refuse to let failure define them. Instead of saying I failed, say I learned. Challenge your own limiting beliefs. Stop telling yourself you can't do. Instead, start asking, how can I improve? Talent might open doors, but perseverance is what keeps them open. Whatever skill you want to develop, it's consistent effort that'll get you there. Embrace the process. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Progress isn't always linear. Some days you'll feel like you're moving backward. That's normal. But if you stay committed, keep learning, and refuse to quit, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Surround yourself with the right people. Mindsets are contagious. If you spend time around people who complain, make excuses, and accept mediocrity, you'll absorb that mentality. But if you surround yourself with those who push themselves, who embrace discomfort, who keep striving, you'll be influenced in the best way possible. Speak to yourself like you would a friend. Your inner dialogue matters. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, you're wiring your brain to believe it. Instead of saying, I'll never be able to do this, shift to, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting better every day. Life isn't about being perfect. It's about improving. It's about evolving, stretching yourself, and becoming someone greater than you were yesterday. A growth mindset doesn't just lead to success, it leads to resilience, confidence, and the ability to adapt in an ever-changing world. So the next time you're faced with a challenge, ask yourself, am I going to let this defeat me, or am I going to grow from it? The choice is always yours. The most powerful thing about a growth mindset is that once you adopt it, the possibilities are endless. Your story isn't finished, it's still being written, and you hold the pen.